Can I see your passport?
Yeah, sure. Here is my passport.
All right. So here you have to give your passport. They'll just write your voice is being recorded. Right? Okay. So tell me about yourself.
Hello, my name is Bhavika Mistry. I come from a small town named Valsad, which is situated in the state of Gujarat. I completed my primary and secondary schooling from my hometown school, St. Joseph Convent, and I completed my bachelor's in commerce from Mirabai College, Mumbai. Currently, I am pursuing IELTS.
All right. And why are you pursuing your IELTS?
I want to go abroad to study my master's as well as my PhD, so I am studying IELTS for the same.
How often do you take rest?
I usually don't prefer to take rest, like taking a nap. I usually take a nap or I sleep at night, which is for 8 to 9 hours.
Which part of your country would you like to live in?
The part of my country which I would prefer to live in is my hometown, because I am living there ever since my birth. So I am very familiar and I am comfortable living there.
What makes you proud of your country?
The diversity and the unity, the culture. We stay connected to our roots and we have a very vast culture. We embrace each and every culture. We accept everyone with open arms.
Do you know the history of your country well?
I won't say I know the entire history of my country, but I would say I am moderate in the knowledge of history.
Do you plan to return back to India after your studies?
No, I don't plan to return back to India as such now, but I might change my idea.
What scenery can you see from the window of your room?
I can see the garden area of my house from the window of my room, where there is a multiple trees we have grown, like for example coconut tree or pink guava tree.
Is the view of your window important to you?
Yes, the view of my window is pretty much important. As I am a writer, I tend to sit near my window and write, so a peaceful view inspires me and relaxes me at the same time.
Okay. Why do some people pay a lot of money to buy places, buy houses or offices with a great view?
I feel that the price or the high price is basically for the view that they are paying for, not for the house or the amenities that they offer, because nowadays everywhere it is a concrete forest. Everywhere you go, you just see tall buildings, so everyone wants to have a view of nature to relax their mind, so they pay n number of or lots of money for the same.
So what kind of views fetch a fortune?
Sea view fetch a fortune, as well as a view of nature, for example a garden, birds chirping there, fetch a fortune.
Correct. Okay. Do you like reading?
Yes, I love reading.
In what places do you find it difficult to read?
I find it difficult to read when I am saturated, as well as when there is a lot of noise around me.
How do you feel when you are in a crowded area?
I feel suffocated and anxious when I'm surrounded by a lot of crowd, because everyone is suffocating you, everyone is stick to one another, glued to one another, and you are not even able to get the proper amount of oxygen.
So why do people gather at a crowded place?
Basically for their daily routine, for the public transportation, or for the sightseeing. For example, if there is a crowd at a famous tourist place, it is because they want to see the sight.
Why do they want to see the sight?
Because for them it's like they have come here to travel, so they want to see the sightseeing or the tourist attractions of that places, so that they can go back home and they can talk about it with their friends and family.
Why do they want to talk with their friends and family about the place that they visited?
To share their experiences, how they felt. If it is a good experience, they can recommend it to their friends and family as well. If it was something they learned from them, from that place or the people, they can share that experience as well.
Okay. Do you make a list when you go for shopping?
Yes, I do prefer to make a list when I go to shopping, because supermarkets or the malls nowadays are designed in such a way that you end up buying things which you don't even need.
Why do they design malls in such a way?
So that for them it is a advantage, or it is a plus point, because they will have their sales. For example, they'll have the supermarkets are always placed in the back of the mall, whereas the fashion brands or as the food court is always in the front of the mall. So while when you are going to the supermarket, you have to pass through the fashion stores as well as the food market, and you start craving the food, or you have this urge of shopping.
Right. So that basically is good sales for them.
Correct.
All right, good. And here we go for your cue card. And your topic today is, it is describe a person who's good at making people feel welcome in his or her home. This is the new cue card, right? You got it today, right? Yes. So here it is, if you want to see it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So who the person is, how you knew him or her, how he makes you feel welcome, and explain how you feel about this person here. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, done.
Please start.
So the one person I feel who welcomes me with open arms in her house is my best friend's grandmother. I call her Ajji. I know her since like past 10 or 15 years, ever since I am friends with my best friend. Whenever I visit her house, she has this very gentle and welcoming smile on her face, as well as she welcomes with open arms, as if I am her own granddaughter. I like to spend time with her because she talks about her life lessons, the times they had. She talks about her days, and we learn a lot of stuff with her, as well as she's very friendly. I feel that a lot of old age people or a lot of grandparents are not very broad-minded. They are very grumpy and narrow-minded. But at this age, she's very friendly. She even advises us whenever we get stuck on something. Not just in studies, she also gave me a lot of relationship advices as well. She also guided me when I was lost or when I was very fogged in my mind about my career. She guided me. She told me that do what your heart says. Listen to your heart, but follow the road suggested by your brain, or go by your brain. She always taught us how to cook food. Whenever I go there, I like Maharashtrian cuisines a lot, the Konkani Maharashtrian cuisine. So whenever I decide to go there, she makes my favorite ukhdachi modak, which I am fan of, and she always packs the extra modaks for me to take it home and savor the flavor later on. She is very enthusiastic person. She's in her late 80s, yet she likes to do her work on her own. She irons her sari on her own. She goes to temple on her own. She prepares her own meal. So that's what I like about her.
That's it. Thank you. So in the exam, you can't go more than 2 minutes. You are stopped like this. Like, okay, thank you. That was good. All right. So now we're going to talk more about welcoming people. So how do people in your country welcome their guests?
For people in my country, firstly open the doors. They tell the guest to please come inside, have a seat. After that, they offer beverages, or hot or cold beverages, whichever the guest prefers. They also offer snacks, but we don't offer snacks like chips and biscuits. We offer like authentic snacks. For example, if you go to a Gujarati house, you'll be offered a dhokla, khaman or khandvi. But if you go to a Maharashtrian house, they'll offer you bhakhar vadi or something that is their culture.
Okay. Is there something like the right time to visit somebody at their house?
I believe not. If you are very close to that person, you can visit them any time. But if you're not that close to that person or the family, it is always better to call them and ask them which time they are free and what is the right time to visit them.
Do you think that people meet their friends and their relatives as much as they used to during the Diwali and other festival holidays?
It is subjective, because even today there are people who meet their friends and family whenever there is a good news to share or whenever there is a festival. But there are also people who don't like to go out, who don't like to meet their relatives or friends and family. So it is completely dependent on the person itself.
Okay, now we'll talk about directions. So the topic is how do people feel when they get lost?
firstly they feel very anxious or nervous. They tend to panic, or they get panic attacks that how will I reach there. At such situation, I would suggest you have to stay calm and composed, peaceful. That's when you will be able to come up with a solution.
Are some people better at orienting themselves if they're lost?
Yes, some people are very good at orienting themselves if they're lost. They keep themselves calm and they ask the people if they find someone. They ask the people about the address or the way, as well as they try to figure their way out.
Do you think young people are more reliant on their phones for directions than older people?
Yes, correctly. Young people nowadays are more reliant on phones compared to old people, because even old people I have seen, they still remember the roads. If they go on that road on their way, once they'll remember it. If we consider the younger people, they tend to forget it. They don't look at their surroundings or the road they are passing by so carefully. They are very, you can say, very carefree in that thing.
Do you think it is important to do some preparation before you travel to a new place?
Yes, definitely you should do a preparation regarding what that place is like, whether you'll get your amenities or not. For example, if you're going to a village area, there are chances that you might not get certain things like sanitary pads or something. So you should carry that with you. As well as you can always go through the route on the map so that you get an idea. So you don't get to know that you lost your way far when you have reached far to another place. You get to know like very instant.
Amazing. Last question for the day. Are paper maps still relevant today?
Paper maps are relevant, but not in like day-to-day lives. I feel I visited Ajanta Ellora caves recently, so their paper maps are relevant because they provide you with the map and then you have to locate everything and you can explore the place on your own. The same thing happens in the foreign tourism as well. They provide you with the map and you can explore the place on your own, like however you want to. So they are still in trend, but not like earlier times a lot much. Not used a lot. Not use a lot.
Thank you. That was a great speaking test. So that was Bhavika Mistry giving her speaking test. This was a mock test which she performed really well. If you can see, she had very less, stuck ups. She did not get stuck anywhere. She had good fluency, very accurate grammar, and the correct level of pronunciation. Right. So these are the factors you need to get a great band score.